Broadcasting live from the Freak Show Entertainment Studios. Welcome to Wrestling Nerd Rage. And now, your hosts, Old School Ashbrook, Big Stud Ricker, and Big Sexy Rob. And now,
coming down the aisle, weighing 231 pounds, Chris Hahn.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Wrestling Nerd Rage right here from the Freak Show Entertainment Studio. To my right tonight, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, Big Stud Rickard.
Yahtzee.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling good, man. Here in the new studio.
Yeah, it'll get better.
Yeah.
To my left, I'll be nice to you tonight, sir. We have a guest. And to my left, Old School Ashbrook. How you doing?
Just proud to be here.
Just proud to be here.
He'd age you.
And last but not least, our guest tonight. Really excited for him to be here. Former WWF wrestler, current ASWA professional wrestler, Chris Hahn, a.k.a. Johnny Paradise. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. Just to let you know, I am no longer 230 pounds. I'm about 255.
I understand. I apologize for that.
It's no problem. It was the good old days.
Yes, sir. So, I'm going to kill the music in the background here, and we can get to business. I'm going to let you start off tonight, Rickard. What do you got for the man?
You know, you were sitting here telling us about some of your matches that you've done through WWF and your current promotion. What is the best match that you can say you've ever been in?
The best match that I've ever been in, the one where I was kind of scared the most, was when I wrestled The Undertaker, and that was the second match I ever had in my life. And I went out there and I took the clothesline off the top rope and then the tombstone pile driver, and then they put me in the body bag, and then he climbs up on the top rope and he drops the leg. But the thing about it is, you don't know when it's coming, you don't know if it's going to be stiff, you don't know, you just clinch up and you take it. And I took it right across the nose.
Oh, man.
Then they slide you out, and then it's when they had the guys with the black hoods, and they lift you above their head and they do like a funeral procession out of the ring. The best match I ever had was in probably Troy, Michigan against Dan Severn. Mm-hmm. We went 27 minutes, and he ended up kind of choking me out, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dan Severn. Mm-hmm. Dan is a 4-time gold medal Greco-Roman wrestler, Olympic wrestler in the Pan Am Games, and he's a big UFC guy, and he's a beast. That's why they call him the Beast. Mm-hmm. In the UFC, what he would do is he would take your face and he would smother it in your chest and basically suffocate you out. Now, me and Dan have ever since been pretty good friends, but that was probably my best match because I was in my prime. I could move. I was real agile. I could do the flips off the ropes. I could do all that stuff. Can't do that anymore. Okay. Those days are long gone.
Gotcha. What about you, Old School? Do you have any questions for Mr.
Not right now. You know,
he's just proud to be here.
Absolutely.
He's just proud to be here.
I want to talk about, and ever since I saw this on YouTube, I said I'm going to ask him. You went to the ring against Papa Shango. Your hand was caught on fire.
Sure.
First of all, what was the real danger in that? Was there a lot of danger involved, or was it?
If you're real familiar with stunt guys, mm-hmm. they use what they call a kerosene-based gel, mm-hmm. and what they do is the hotter the flame gets, the cooler the gel gets. Okay. Well, they have you soak your hand in a bucket, and I'm not telling anything I probably shouldn't tell, right. for about an hour, so it really absorbs into your skin. Now, if you watch the YouTube video, you'll see I turn to hand my hat and the towel down to the ring guy, and he'll drop a lighted match in my hand. Well, that kerosene takes at least 4 to 5 seconds to ignite, so I have the able to position my hand for the camera angles, and then once it bursts into flames, you go, excuse my French, ape shit, act like it's burning the hell out of you, and put it out, roll out of the ring, and run to the back.
Right.
That was in Lexington, Kentucky at Rupp Arena. And I don't know if you've ever been to Rupp Arena, but Rupp Arena holds roughly 50,000,
Yeah.
and it was sold out.
It looked like a huge freaking crowd.
It was a huge crowd. And when I went in the back, and there's a lot of people that say, Vince McMahon's an asshole, or Shane McMahon's a prick, or Stephanie. But the 4 or 5 years that I was affiliated with the WWF, they were the most cordial, nicest people to work for. If you do your job and you don't embarrass their company or what they've worked so hard for, they treat you like gold.
Okay.
It's those guys that go out and get drunk or get high and get messed up and then end up in court and jail or whatever.
Right.
They give the WWF a bad name that they have issues with, and which is understandable. It's in every business that you go in.
Exactly.
I remember we watched that video of the match with Papa Shango, and we watched it over and over. And I said, when he hands his stuff out, that's when his hands come. And I said, that's when it's happening.
Right.
Because I was actually going to play with you tonight and say, so what was it like when Papa Shango? I mean, the guy lit your hand on fire.
Right.
But
Guy outside the ring.
right. But no, you played it well. And like I said before the show, you got major mullet points that night.
Major. I had a party, a business in the front and party in the back.
Absolutely did.
The women loved the mullet back in the early 90s. But you know what? In the 21 years that I've been a professional wrestler, knock on wood, the worst that I ever got hurt was I tore a hamstring, which really isn't that bad. And I had my jaw dislocated. But my jaw dislocated wasn't actually due by a wrestler. I used to wrestle for Darren McCarty. I don't know if you guys know who Darren McCarty is. Darren McCarty used to play for the Detroit Red Wings. He was their bruiser, their bully. And every year he would throw a fundraiser to raise money for cancer because he had a cancer research in Detroit. And he would always throw a wrestling show. And I used to wrestle a guy, and I used to have a huge feud with a guy by the name of Calypso Jim. And if you're not familiar with Calypso Jim, that's Bobo Brazil's son.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And Bobo would come out with him at the ring, and be his manager and stuff like this. And usually I would end up going out of the ring, getting a cocoa butt, throwing back and getting pinned. Well, the whole angle for this one was Darren McCarty was going to get involved because I was always the prick, asshole, bad guy. And I kept pinning Calypso 1-2, he'd kick out. So I got up and I shoved McCarty. And I shoved him into the ropes. He was supposed to come off the ropes and give me a forearm, but he wasn't supposed to be so rough. He dislocated my jaw and sent me over the top rope.
Wow.
And I like to talk a lot. And for about a week or so, I couldn't say much of anything. And I went into the back, and the guy grabbed my face and just snapped it back into place. And it was like, oh, God. I wish I would have kept it dislocated. But it's like I said, you live and learn.
Right.
And you go on, and I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but I used to, after that, Darren McCarty always felt bad for what he did, so we always kept in touch. He was a pretty good guy, pretty good friend,
So, let's talk about current wrestling.
Okay.
You're with the ASWA.
ASWA.
In Mansfield.
Mansfield, Ohio.
And I've watched some of your stuff on YouTube from ASWA. I've watched some of the matches that you were in, ones you weren't in.
Right.
They seem to be pretty good. I mean, they draw a pretty large crowd for independent.
We get anywhere from 900 to about 1,100 people. And the nice thing about it is the promoter down there only charges $5 and $8 for ringside. So it's very economical. I mean, you can bring your family in. It's not like going to an Indians game where you're going to pay $25 a ticket, and if you got 4 kids and 2 adults, you got $200 wrapped up in
That's
tickets.
if you're lucky.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or
Going to a Raw show.
Exactly. So, and then every now and then we try to bring in a big name guy, like Goldust or Billy Gunn or one Rhino or somebody, Sabu or somebody like that. And but it's pretty much a stable of 12 guys, and we all are kind of like a family. And you got your heavy-set guys, and you got your pretty muscular guys. You got your small guys that do all the flips. So, I mean, we provide everything. We have women matches. A lot of the guys like the women matches and stuff. And
That's this guy right there, all day.
I'm not sure if you saw my laptop, but I've got a picture of AJ Lee and Paige from NXT. They're both my future wives. They just don't know it yet. It's going to happen.
well, I've been married, and I have no future wife. That's a miserable thing. You don't want to get involved in that.
Love you.
But, my gimmick now is, I don't know if some of your listeners, I just shot a sci-fi movie, and I've been doing some acting.
Right.
And I shot a sci-fi movie called Axe Giant, The Wrath of Paul Bunyan, which is kind of a twisted tale on the whole Paul Bunyan character.
It absolutely was, and
Yeah.
I've watched the movie myself like 3 times from Sci-Fi. I have it on my DVR.
Right.
I watched it again today with my son. And
Right.
Absolutely. It's like I told you, the only thing I was surprised with it was really gory.
Yeah.
Which it
loved
wasn't
it, though.
bad.
Right.
It's
Loved
just,
that.
I was like, wow, I didn't expect it to be that gory.
Well, the director of the movie's name is Gary Jones, and Gary's from LA, originally from Michigan, but he lives in Crestline now. He's got a studio in Crestline, and then there's a gentleman by the name of Bob Kurtzman, and Bob Kurtzman's in everything. He's a special effects makeup design artist. I mean, the guy's amazing. It took me 4 hours to put that suit on.
Oh, wow.
And it's a glue down suit, so once it goes on, it doesn't come off. So there was like 4 days that I had to wear that thing for 12 hours.
Oh, wow.
And you don't go to the restroom unless you pee in your suit. So what I did, and the nice thing about it was the days that I wore it,
Pins are for.
well, I had to wear a diaper, believe it or not. I mean, I don't want to. That kind of throws my street cred right out the window. But the nice thing about it was 97. So your appetite's not there because your body temperature is so high, and everything you consume, drink-wise, you sweat it out. So really, I didn't have to go to the restroom, knock on wood. But most of the stuff I did was on green screen, and then they CG'd it and whatever. I'm not real familiar, but when I was like on green screen, it was like, I don't understand what I'm doing here. And he goes, don't worry about it. We're gonna cut it out. We'll put it in the movie. It'll look great. And then when the movie came out, it kind of just blew me away.
Right.
Yeah.
It really blew me away. But from the movie, we use an angle now in the ASWA that I'm a so-called movie star now. So I bought 51% of the company.
He missed.
Right.
I bought 51% of the company. So now I am the leading shareholder, CEO. So what I say goes. If I want to fire you, I fire you. If I don't like the way it is, I don't like the way it is. The last show that we had, the heavyweight champ, which was Jimmy, his name's Jimmy Lee, he calls himself the Nightmare. And he's not a big fan of mine. So I'm always out to get him. Well, they wrestled, he pinned Jeff Cannon. And I came out and said, he cheated. The match continues. He pinned him again. I said, you cheated. The match continues. And until Jeff ended up going over on him and pinning him to win the champion. And then I said the match was over. So the people really don't like me. And I don't know how to say this in a way to sound proper. But if you've ever been to Mansfield, there's a lot of hillbillies. And I would say 90% of the people that come to our shows don't have a full set of teeth. So I sit there and I just trash them, and trash them and trash them and trash them. And I do my job because they hate me, and that's my job, is for them to hate me.
Absolutely.
I guess I have gift of gab. I mean, I used to come out to the ring to Paradise City as he played at the beginning of the show, but my whole thing was 260 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal, and then I would always get on the microphone and I would say, at this time I want all you losers, degenerates, and retards to shut your mouths while I take my robe off and show all the women out here what they paid their hard-earned money to see.
Right.
Kind of a Rick Rude-ish steel,
Right.
but in my opinion, Rick Rude was phenomenal when it came to ring presence. Wrestling ability, different story.
Oh, so John Cena.
Yeah.
But, when it came to ring presence, I guess you would say my favorite wrestler of all time is Kurt Hennig. Just because he was a wrestler, and he was a showman, and he had the gift of gab.
Right.
Kind of like a Ric Flair. I mean, I understand that Ric Flair is, 70 years old?
Roughly. Yeah.
But
Looks like
he can still talk with the best of them.
Absolutely.
And when they keep him in the promotion, people say, I don't know why they keep Ric Flair and he looks like crap. But he can go out and cut a promo like nobody can.
Right.
So I guess you would say that when it comes to wrestling, cutting promos are my best, when it comes to me getting in the ring and doing hold for hold and stuff like that, I get winded kind of easy.
Well, I saw you on the videos, and you were always trash talking the referee and pushing the referee, and I mean, absolutely, your character comes through great. So absolutely, your mic skills were there. It's just like I said, the match that I watched today was you versus the Assassin #1.
Sure.
Where they pulled the twin magic on you.
Right.
And I thought you had that match, and then I saw the switch. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right. Oh yeah, that's the best, isn't it? You know, a lot of guys that are bigger guys like myself, they have an ego and an attitude like a Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar does not like anybody going over on him. It's all. But you know what? The more that you grow into the business, and the more that you become familiar with the business and how the storylines work and stuff, you know what? Who cares?
Right.
As long as you get paid. You know, as long as you get paid, and as long as you're not getting hurt, who cares who goes over?
Pin me, pay me.
You know. Now, if I have a 120-pound guy press slamming me and throwing me across the ring, then I got a little issue with that. You know.
Be technical. Put me.
If I got a guy who's 120 pounds that does a moonsault off the top and pins me, you know what? That's a phenomenal move. Good for you. I can't do that.
Right.
You know. So if you're gonna pin me that way. And I don't have a problem. I don't go in the back and get all pissed off like some of these guys do, and you know, rant and rave and carry on. And you know what? It's about respecting those who respect you. Now, yeah, I might come off as an asshole and a dick in the ring, and I might be a real loudmouth, and people might not like me. But outside of the ring, I go to the hospital, I visit children that have problems. You know, at Christmas time, I take up toys and stuff like that, and do a little bit of fundraising and stuff that way. But you give those who give to you. And those are the kids that come and watch you wrestle. Those are the kids that come and think you're some kind of superstar. You know, and when you walk in the room, their jaws drop, and they say, oh, he's a pro wrestler, how cool is that? You know what? You know, too bad all the women that I've known in the past don't think, oh my God, he's a superstar. And their jaws drop. That don't happen very much.
Well, let's go to our board here, because not ignoring you guys.
Well, I mean, you know, I just got to say, yeah, he's a heel and gets paid for it.
Absolutely.
But it'd be kind of boring if they were all good guys.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
You're right. It's
Yeah,
true.
you gotta have somebody. Hey, you can't cheer for both guys.
Right. Right, amen.
So, Ultimate Warrior asked us, but you already answered the question, but I'll go ahead and read it anyways. It says, I've been to my share of indie shows in my time, and they've always had one guy that they brought in to put butts in the seats. What have you done? Have you done that in ASWA? And what were some of the big names you brought? But you answered that already.
Well, we brought, like I said, last year we brought in Billy Gunn. We brought in Rhino. We brought in Gold Dust. I mean, it's hard to afford a John Cena to come down.
Right.
And plus, Vince won't let him work. He'd have to be like a special guest referee or a manager or something like that. And I'm not going to pay they're not going to pay a guy 10 grand to come down and be a special guest referee.
Right. Exactly.
You know what? You can get Billy Gunn, fly him in, pay him $500, and he'll put on a show for you.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy Gunn's just as good now as he was back then.
Absolutely.
You know? Same thing with Road Dogg Jesse James. Same thing with Gold Dust. I mean, it's not too hard to do a gay gimmick. All you gotta do is rub yourself and go,
Ooga! Ooga!
You know, I mean, I'm not sitting there, I'm not gonna slam anybody because your sexual preference is however you want it to be,
absolutely.
you know? But, you know, I mean, Dustin Rhodes was a great wrestler when he was in WCW, but when they brought him into WWF, they never used him right. And they stuck him in that Gold Dust gimmick, and all he did was rub his crotch and blow kisses in the crowd and stuff. Now, I had a perfect angle that I was going to write a letter in to the booking guy. I thought he should have wrestled Rikishi. Rikishi give him the stink face. Gold Dust fall in love with him and interfere in every match Rikishi's in, so he puts him over.
Great.
You know, I thought that was pretty good. You know,
great.
But hey, they didn't hire me as a booking or storyline writer.
So Big Bad Cleveland Brown says, Chris Hahn, what would be the dream match you would like to see?
What would I like to see right now?
Yeah,
what match?
What match would you like to see? What's your dream match right now?
My dream match would see Hulk Hogan retire.
Amen.
I would like to see Kurt Angle fight Brock Lesnar in a shoot.
Wow.
There it is. There it is.
Nice.
Some of Brock Lesnar's and Kurt Angle's matches were the best, legit wrestling matches.
Right. But I'd like to see him in a shoot fight, man. I mean,
Yeah.
really go at each other.
Right.
You know, I like CM Punk. I didn't like him when he came in.
I still don't like him,
But
so we're
I
fine.
think for
Best
as
in the
big
world.
as he is, his ability and his mic skills are phenomenal. I'd like to see Paul Heyman retire.
Yeah.
They drive him into the ground
But
way too
yeah,
much.
he's another one of those guys, in my opinion, like
Right.
Ric Flair, that could still cut a promo.
Sure.
Oh, he cuts a promo like no other.
Right. So, I mean,
Oh, I
as long
like
as
You know, when you work for the ECW, which I did for 3 months, he doesn't give a shit about the guys. You know, it was all about ratings,
Yeah.
ratings, and ratings. And he don't care if he throws you under the bus.
Right.
And it's sad that hey, you have promoters like that.
Yeah.
You got guys that throw you under the bus like that.
Every interview I've ever heard with Paul Heyman is, honestly, I really don't give a fuck about the wrestlers. I've got a few friends, which happen to be CM Punk and Brock Lesnar.
Right.
The rest, you could just give me my damn paycheck.
You know, I'd like to see CM Punk versus Rob Van Dam. That'd be a good match.
That is going
I'd like
to
to see
happen.
that one.
That'd be a great match.
But I also would like to see WC or TNN
TNA?
TNA?
use some of those guys like Magnum and Gunner, because those guys are pretty good and they're pretty buffed up and they look
Right.
pretty good. I think they need to get rid of that X Division crap,
Really?
that light heavyweight stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, here's my thought. When the X Division, before they changed the rules here recently, the X Division was all about no limits. So you had guys of all sizes. Samoa Joe was an X Division
Sure,
champion.
sure. Now that they've won that,
Now they've gone to the weight limit. I don't like it as much.
right?
When it was about no limits and these guys went in there and they were, and I think it was a lot better when they had the six-sided ring.
Right.
Because the X Division guys could do a lot more. But
They have two more launching pads.
right, but
Yeah.
now that they've changed it, changed all the rules, and now it's always a triple threat match. Yeah, you're right. I'm not a fan.
Right, and I like that whole octagon ring thing that they used to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like that because it was different. You know.
And
Yeah.
you still see some of the guys doing moves that should have been done in the octagon ring. Like when they do the Irish whip into the rope, they would follow that person after they've Irish whipped them, but they would jump off an octagon that was next to
Right.
them and then hit him with a British Bulldog, you know,
Right.
smack him through. But now
And I think they need to use that Velvet Sky and God, what's that other girl's name?
Madison Rain?
And they ought to have them wrestle, and then end up making out in the middle of the ring. That would be.
That's some Eric Bischoff
Awesome.
right there, man. That's HLA right there.
Isn't that
Some hot
awesome?
lesbo action.
You know what? I never really liked Eric Bishop, but I did like that. That he used to do that 3 count.
Yeah.
And he counted to 3, and then on the 3rd, those 2 guys would come in. Rosie.
Right.
God, was that horrible or what?
That was, they couldn't, they tried so hard to get him.
But I
over,
did
he
like the
just wasn't Bob
I
Holly.
did like the superhero in the green suit.
Hurricane Hill.
Hurricane Hill.
He used to play that up so good, you know?
Stand back. That is a hurricane.
So we have another question here. It's a 2-part question from
Okay.
KC fan. Says Sting to WWE question mark. I guess they're wanting to know, would you like to see Sting go to WWE?
I don't think Sting will because I think Sting's more religious. I know that he's like a real firm, and he doesn't believe in some of the angles that McMahon uses.
Right.
You know, McMahon pushes everything to the limit.
Yeah.
He don't care as long as he's getting ratings. He pushes everything to the limit.
No matter
you know?
what that PG rating says.
And
he
I
will push
think
it to the limit.
Sting doesn't, because I know that they've offered him tons of money to come up there,
Yeah.
and he still says no.
Right.
You know. And what's the second part of that?
It says, well, if you could wrestle against anyone right now, who would it be?
Well, I would probably be my best match would be Kurt Hennig, but Bret Hart was good. If I could wrestle anybody right now, and that's a tough one.
Yeah, give us a top 3 if you want.
Yeah.
Top 3 it would probably be. I like that cat down in TN.
TNA.
He used to be in part of Beer Money.
Cowboy James Storm?
No, the other one.
Chris Harris.
No.
Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode. I like Bobby Roode. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'd have a pretty good match with him.
Bobby Roode, I like him. I
don't like the little midget guy that runs around with him.
Kazarian?
goodness.
He's got the long sideburns.
Austin Aries.
Austin Aries. I'm not real big on him. I wouldn't mind wrestling Bubba Ray.
Really?
Yeah, just because for as big as he is, he can move like a cat.
You're absolutely right. And
He can move.
His age does not seem to have stopped him.
Not at all.
He doesn't look that old because when I first started watching TNA, I did not make the connection that Bully Ray was Bubba Ray.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, Bubba Ray, is older. And then you finally said Team 3D, and I was like,
Well, he was.
I think Bubba Ray, when he started, looked older than he was.
right.
Yeah.
And so now he's in his late 30s, early 40s.
Something like that. Yeah.
So I mean, as long as he's lucky, it doesn't take a bad high spot. He
And
can
then-
go for quite a while.
Right.
I think the third one is I like to wrestle Velvet Sky.
Who wouldn't, sir?
Can you come down in that electric tape outfit you had on? Yeah, thanks. Okay, we're
That's
good.
amazing.
So real quick to our listeners, I got a report again that there's an echo. And I apologize if there's an echo. You're probably going to get that because we have 4 mics going within a 5-foot area here. So we do apologize for that.
Next time I'll build dividers.
Yeah. So, let's see here. From a Marky Faber, it says, do you have any other movies coming out? And where can I see the ASWA?
ASWA is going to be running August 3rd at Crawford County Fair, which is in Bucyrus, Ohio. That's a Saturday night. And I know they're bringing in a TNA guy. I'm not really sure who they're bringing in, but I know that. And then in November, and I'm not certain on a date, we're doing a fundraiser at Mansfield City Schools, Mansfield Senior High Gymnasium, and I know they're going to bring in. I think they're bringing in Billy Gunn, and they're bringing in Jesse James, and they're going to wrestle our tag champs. And then I think they're going to bring in either Gold Dust, Sabu, or Rhino to wrestle the heavyweight champ. Movie-wise, I just signed a TV reality show called Cougar Dating. And
God, yes.
What it is, it's a reality documentary from the younger guy's perspective of dating an older woman. Now, when I first was asked to do this, I'm 42 years old. I said, I'm not dating a 65-year-old woman. I'm not going to do it, you know? And they told me that a cougar is considered 5 years your age. So 47, 48, 49, 50. So I signed a contract to do that. And I got 4 months to, and what I have to do is I have to log all my dates, send it to the company, and what they'll do is they'll fly down, they'll video me on one of my dates with one of these women, and then I sit and have a one-on-one. The pros and cons of dating a younger woman compared to dating an older woman. You know,
Gravity.
stuff with that. You know, an older woman's more established in the sense that she knows what she wants, and where a younger woman is about going to the bars and drinking and having a good time and you know all this and that. I'm 42 years old. The last thing I want to do is go to the bars anymore. So I'm kind of excited about that. I signed a contract to do a movie called Zombie Moms. Okay. And what it is, it's about a group of moms and their children that are zombies. And it's going to be based in Pittsburgh. And what I'm going to play is a college football coach. And I'm the crazy college football coach screaming and yelling and carrying on. And every time I come home from the office late at night, I see these zombies walking around campus, and I start telling people, but nobody believes me because I'm the crazy football coach. Right. I'm screaming and yelling and stuff like that. Now, I really haven't read the script, so I'm not real sure what the whole format of the whole script is. But the best one is, it's called The Development. And what it is, it's a band of 4 brothers, and they're serial killers. And they go around the country chopping people up. And it's kind of like a spin-off of The Devil's Rejects.
Okay.
But it's pretty gory and gruesome. Okay. And then I just, about a month and a half ago, I had a small extra part in the Captain America movie.
Really?
Which I was pretty excited about that. I didn't have any speaking parts or anything like that, but my whole thing was I got to be on set with those guys. So I got to learn a lot. I got to meet Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, which is a very small individual. Right. You would think that you would hire a superhuman or superhero, he'd be larger than life. Right. He wasn't very larger than life.
Now you just hire a bunch of short people to work with you.
You know what? When I was up there, the director said, I can't use you in any scenes because you're not an extra. You stand out. He goes, I can't put you next to Chris Evans. You make him look like a dwarf. And he's supposed to be our superhero. You know, I can't do that. So I got a small little part in the mall and a small little escalator part that, you know what? But it was just cool to be in that.
Right.
I've got some stuff working for The Walking Dead, which is, I sent some stuff down and I heard something back that they're interested. But you know, they killed their whole cast off last year, or most of them. So they're going to bring new guys in, and there's a thing, and I've never really watched it. It's called Supernatural: The Grimm.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He just geeked out.
No, I
See
just
that?
I'm beyond marked. Like that's not even.
So I sent some stuff down there, and I got something back from them. They're interested in me using me.
Take it. You don't understand. Take it and run.
I think you just jizzed, Big Stud.
Like you said, Walking Dead, and I kind of geeked. You said Supernatural, and it was.
So that's a couple things that I've heard. I've got some other stuff out for the Avengers. They're going to start shooting the sequel to the Avengers, and they're going to do something with the whole. Now I didn't see Iron Man 3, but supposedly he didn't want to be Iron Man anymore.
Yeah, they ended up taking all the the thing that made.
But they're going to do something with the whole Iron Man character. When I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But when I was the Captain America, they wanted me to cast for something in that. So
Nice.
some things. You know what? It's hot right now, so I'm playing with it and I'm having a good time.
Right.
If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
So I got a question about Axe Giant. I've been kind of storing here for a
Sure.
little bit. Now, you played Paul Bunyan.
I play Paul Bunyan, which is the monster character.
Right. Were you in the beginning of the movie? It was a regular
Junior.
size.
Yeah, I was an infant.
Basically.
I was right.
I was just wondering if that was you.
If
as
you
well.
if you follow the story and how they go along, they talk about the whole growing up of Paul Bunyan, how he had a rare disease,
Right.
and he kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And in the beginning, yeah, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, yeah, that's me at 15 feet tall.
Now,
Right.
did you do any of the voice work at all?
Yeah, I did.
Do your favorite line from the movie.
Mabel.
Exactly.
Mabel. Yep, I did that. Exactly. That's the only line I had. Yeah.
And my son me and my son watched it today, and he was just really devastated that you killed off the hottest girl right off rip.
I know, right? But you know, like I'm gonna show you my moves, and you're like.
But you know the thing. Here's the thing. If you watch every horror movie, the black guy always dies first.
That's the first thing I said to you. I was like, oh, that's
Always dies first. So we put a spin on it. We killed him off last.
Right.
You know, just a lot of people don't catch that stuff. You know, and
Either the black guy goes, I'll wait here in the car while you guys go.
exactly.
Exactly.
But you know, the monster didn't even kill him. You know, he got shot by the crazy. Which I don't know if you've ever met Joe Estevez.
No.
Greatest guy in the world. See, we're doing a thing called the Indie Gathering on the August the 16th, 17th, and 18th. And that's in Hudson, Ohio. I don't know if you know where Hudson is.
Yeah.
It's about 15, 20 miles north of Akron.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's an independent film gathering of all independent movies. And what it is, it's a 3-day convention. And they're giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Joe Estevez because he's done so many B-movie, horror movie, stuff like that. But most of the cast from the Axe Giant Paul Bunyan is going to be there. Dan Haggerty, which I don't know if you caught that. Dan Haggerty, well, you're probably too
It
young.
was the former.
Yeah.
Right. He used to be the original. He was in the original TV series Grizzly Adams.
Right.
And how'd you like me slowing him through the saw and
Dude,
just chopping
that
him
was
in half?
amazing.
Isn't it crazy how they did that?
The beginning scene, I was like, oh, this is wow, they're all decapitated. That's not that bad. And then he started putting him through the saw, and I was like, shit, they're actually showing
Oh yeah, we split that girl in half, and then the best was when they chopped Sergeant Hoke.
Yeah, and he was still
In
alive.
half, and
I
he's
was
sitting there
like,
screaming, "I want to shove that axe up your handle up your ass and stuff."
Right.
And then if you see when I step on him, all the blood spots out underneath the foot, which is great.
What I liked was later on when the sheriff comes and finds his body, all you see is 2 arms just sticking in his body. Is
How great
gone.
is that? But the producer on the movie, his name's Jeff Miller. Jeff Miller's done some other projects, but Gary Jones has done. Have you ever heard of the movie Mosquito?
Yep.
He did Mosquito. He did Crocodile 2, Boogeyman 3, and then he was the director for Xena the Warrior Princess,
Yeah,
which
he
used to
was-
be a TV
and
show.
he was on almost every episode on that when I was looking at IMDb.
Right. So, I mean, Gary's been around the block, and right now he's out in LA. I talked to him on my way down, and he's got a few projects, and if things work out, there's going to be a Bunyan 2.
Yes.
If things work out. Put it into Paul Bunyan. He can't. Those bullets are like BB guns. I mean, because they're so big.
Well,
He was tired. He was like, I'm just tired. I'm going to go take a swim.
Exactly.
my son was saying, how many rounds do you think Bunyan took there? Holy
He
crap.
took a lot.
And you know what's sad? Those rednecks sucked, though.
Hey, if you watch close, and you got to watch it again, I'm one of the guys shooting him at the end.
Seriously?
Really?
Oh, my God.
I'm shooting my character.
And then, well, see, on low budget shoots, you got to use everyone where you can. And if you're watching the bar scene where the sheriff's flirting with,
Yeah.
I'm back in the back shooting pool.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
I've been
you gotta. I mean, there's little things you just gotta watch, you know. But it's pretty neat.
So we got a couple more questions here on the board here.
Okay.
It says, wow, sounds like a lot of fun. Did being a wrestler help you get into
It helped me tremendously because the stamina and being in that suit for 12 hours, you know, it's kind of like being in the ring for 45 minutes, running back and forth and stuff. So yeah, if it wasn't for the wrestling, I probably couldn't have done it.
And another part of the question was, how can I become a wrestler? What would you recommend for somebody who wants to start in the wrestling business?
You got to find a credible school. So what I would do if I was you is get on, email one of the bigger promotions and say, where's this guy live? Tell him, hey buddy, type in where you live.
Yeah, type in where you live. Marky, type in where you live. We'll get to the next question. We'll go back to that.
Okay.
KC Fan says, any plans for you wrestling any more matches in ASW?
You know what? I'm at the time. I want to be a stunt man. That's my whole thing. And I'm working with a stunt guy out of Cleveland. And he told me you got to lose some weight. You know. So I'm in the process. See, I'm a personal trainer. My regular job is a personal trainer. So for me to lose weight, it's not a real big issue.
Right.
You know, I just got to get my mindset right and stuff like that. So if I can get down to probably, right now I'm about 255. If I can get down to 230, I'd like to get back in the ring. But the thing about it is, my body doesn't heal like it used to. You know, I'm 42 years old. I had my run. I had fun doing it. And it is what it is, you know. But yeah, I'd like to get back in the ring.
Marky said that he lives here in Ohio.
We're at in Ohio.
Yeah, we're at in Ohio.
Give me kind of a ballpark location.
So we also have, what indie wrestler would you like to get in the ring with? Do you have anyone in particular in the indies that you would like to step in the ring with?
Colt Cabana.
You know, I don't watch much indie wrestling. You know what? I don't watch. The only wrestling I watch is Monday Night Raw because I like that whole Wyatt gimmick.
The Wyatts are...
You know what's sad? That's what I think we watch that TNA.
Yeah.
But we used to watch SmackDown religiously too. And
I don't
then
even watch SmackDown anymore.
You know what? I like to wrestle Randy Orton.
Really?
Yeah. He looks like he's a phenomenal wrestler. You know, but indie guys, gosh, I don't know. You know what? I really don't. I don't know.
Well, Marky hasn't responded yet, but
Okay.
KC Fan said, well, I'd like to be a wrestler too. I live in Shelby, Ohio.
Shelby, Ohio. See, I live right in Mansfield. So, I mean, Shelby's right next to me. And ASWA has a training facility on Ashland Road, and he'll understand where Ashland Road is. My name is, what's his name?
Right here, his tag is KC Fan.
Okay, KC Fan. Facebook Chris Hahn and friend me, and I'll send you all the information you need
And
to
if you
know.
go to our page, you can actually find him on our page. He's tagged
Yeah.
into every picture we put up this week.
Yeah, so tag me, and or not tag me, but friend me, and I'll send you all the information that.
And Marky says he lives in Upper Sandusky.
Oh, so Upper Sandusky's only 40 minutes away.
Okay.
But you know what? The guys at the ASWA, Jimmy Lee's the trainer, and he's one of the promoters, and he will get you work. A lot of times when you go to a wrestling school, they train you for 6 months, and then they throw you out the door and say you're on your own.
Right.
When Jimmy, if you're good enough, he'll put you on his shows, and he runs shows every month.
Big Bad Cleveland Brown asks, would you ever become a trainer for younger wrestlers?
You know what? I thought about doing that one time, but with my schedule, I get up every morning at 3:45, and I go to work. I'd be work at 5. By the time I get out of work, it's noon, and then I'm the strength and conditioning coach for the local football team. So I go at noon till 2 o'clock. I go work out with the high school kids, and then I go home and I sit on the computer and do my acting, you know, sending out headshots and resumes. And my mom's listening in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I'd like to say a shout out and tell her I love her, because she's like my manager. She does a shitload for me.
Nice.
You know, and see, the funny story about my mom is I was adopted.
Okay.
You know, and 2 years ago I just found her. My dad passed away. My dad's dying wish was, I want you to find your biological parents. So I found my mom, and it's been nothing but great. I mean, our relationship's great. Every time, now she's involved as kind of like my manager, and she spits in front of the computer all day long, sending out headshots and resumes to different things. And she's the one that got me stuff down to Walking Dead and The Grimm and all that stuff. So,
Nice.
you know, God bless her. She's a godsend in my life.
Ultimate Warrior asks, the roadblock that's on the roster in ASWA,
Right.
is he the same roadblock that was in WCW?
No.
Okay.
No, this guy's a younger guy.
Okay.
But you know what? The funny thing that I find in the independent promotions is a lot of guys steal other guys' stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there used to be a guy called The Perfect One, and he ran a Mr. Perfect gimmick. You know, and I mean, he wasn't even close to Mr. Perfect. And, you know, so this guy, he's a good wrestler, but he's big. He's like 400 and some pounds. I mean, he's a roadblock. There's no doubt about it.
So I can go to an independent promotion and I can be the best in the world. CM Chunk.
You could. You could. Seriously, you could.
So,
As long as the promoter bought it.
so right now I want to, because we're running about 15 minutes before 11 here.
Sure.
I want to, first of all, we owe Big Stud Rickard a chop. He
Oh,
won
God.
the contest, he's getting beat up, so.
You know what? That's fine. I will do it on one condition and one condition only.
How about a kick in the rocks?
Oh!
Kill the cameras. Kill the cameras and I will take a chop.
Not happening.
No, we'll let you off the hook this time.
Oh, thank God.
Did you see this man's arms?
Dad, did you see my testicles in my throat?
But
Jesus Christ.
I wanted to do like a word association with you.
Sure.
I want to name people off in the wrestling industry.
Okay.
And first thing that pops in your head,
Okay.
be brutally honest, okay? And you can jump in if you want. You haven't been saying much tonight, so.
No, I haven't. You've been
Probably
carrying
here.
it.
He's just taking up space tonight. But Shawn Michaels.
Arrogant, but probably one of the best in the business.
Okay.
How'd that super kick taste?
Horrible.
I saw that you weren't even looking and
No.
he started up and you're like, shit.
Vince McMahon.
Businessman, family oriented. Like I said, I can only say the way that he treated me. And he treated me like a king,
Absolutely.
you know, so I got nothing bad to say about Vince McMahon, you know.
And you weren't so high on the roster.
No, I was
that you would expect.
you know what a totem pole is, right?
Yeah.
I was below the ground. When I worked for them, I didn't get a lot of exposure. I was kind of a glorified jobber, you know. They would I wrestled Razor Ramon in his tryout match. They gave me 20 minutes. I mean, and he probably had about 12 minutes of it, and they gave me about 8 minutes of it. And when I saw that thing on 360, did you see that thing on 360 about Razor Ramon?
I did not.
And how he's got a drug addiction.
Oh,
and all that stuff.
yeah.
I cried like a baby because it's the nicest guy you ever met in your
Really?
life, and nobody seems. I mean, I understand it. The McMahons tried to put him in drug rehab, and they spent like $100,000 getting him into drug rehab, and he just couldn't knock it. But he has nobody in his life. Everybody's left. And you know, and that kind of crushed me because the guy's a nice guy.
I mean,
He really is a nice guy.
DDP took him under his wing and tried to help him out with his whole yoga thing, and he was doing great. But reports are saying that he's back on it.
Right.
It's just amazing when you get hooked on that stuff, painkillers, and that's one of the reasons I stopped doing all the big WWF stuff is because of the drugs and the whole angle of beating women up and shit. I'm not into that.
Right.
You know, I'm not in. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a holy roller Christian, but I do have morals and standards.
Right.
And I'll never hit a woman. My mom raised me right, and I'll never stick anything up my nose. Besides maybe a Q-tip or a handkerchief. You know?
Right.
You know, and it's just, you know, to him your own. I'm not going to sit there and ban somebody because I like to smoke dope, whatever. You know what? If that's what you like to do, that's great. Just don't bring it around me.
Right.
You know?
So we'll go with one last one. Johnny Paradise.
Johnny Paradise. Johnny Paradise is, was never used in the right way. You know, I could have been, and don't get me wrong, because I'm not knocking the guy, because the guy was a good wrestler. Remember Johnny Polo?
Yes. Raven.
Raven.
Yeah.
When they used him as a manager,
Mm-hmm.
I could have done that a hell of a lot better than he could have.
I've never been a fan of Raven.
You know,
I think he got, in my opinion, he got success on very lucky circumstances.
right?
I like Raven as a wrestler, but I hated him as a freaking manager. It was pointless.
I would have rather been a manager than I would have been a professional wrestler.
Really.
Because the mic skills were better for me than the wrestling.
That you could smack him and run away.
If you notice, the managers are usually the ones standing in the ring while they're.
You know who I liked the best was Bill Alfonso.
I love
He used
Bill
to blow the
Alfonso,
whistle the
yeah.
whole time. He was so freaking annoying.
Yes.
But man, was he great.
He was.
You know?
He definitely got his point across.
Slick was another good manager. Loved Slick. You know?
Everything I've read, no one's ever said a bad word about the man. Yeah. Well, we got about 12 minutes left before 11.
Sure.
I'm not going to hold you to the minute, but I'm going to give you some time here, man, to shamelessly promote whatever you want to promote here. So
All
the
right.
mics are all yours.
August 16th, 17th, and 18th, I am going to be signing autographs at the Indie Gathering in Hudson, Ohio, which is an independent film festival. And this August the 17th, Bunyan, or Axe Giant, The Wrath of Paul Bunyan, will be back on the Sci-Fi Channel, and we're also going to be screening it at the Indie Film. The September 19th, 20th, and 21st, I'm going to be in Naperville, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. And it's called the Midwest Horror Convention, and we're going to be pushing our movie there. And then October, and I'm not sure, 100% sure on the date in October, but we're going to Cleveland for the Cinema Wasteland. Now, I heard the Cinema Wasteland's great because it's actors and porn stars.
I'm there. Jenna Jameson?
I'm sorry, you're already booked for October.
Porn stars.
I'm sick, so
God love porn stars. You know, that's what makes the world go around.
We're just gonna go and then
You're booked in October.
And hopefully, I got 2 or 3 movies that are going to start shooting this fall. Zombie Moms, The Development, and I'm going to do that TV reality documentary. Wrestling-wise, August the 3rd, we're going to be at Crawford County Fair. Now, if some of you listeners are around Bucyrus, Ohio, stop in on August 3rd, and we can sit down and talk about training centers, whatever. August 3rd at Crawford County Fair. And who I'll be wrestling, I have no clue. But I probably won't be. I'll probably just be doing the whole CEO BS.
man, look at all these people. We got a full set of teeth in here.
And I don't know if you've ever been to Bucyrus, but it's rougher than Mansfield. In November, I'm not sure the date because we haven't set a date yet. We're going to do a fundraiser at Mansfield City Schools, at Mansfield High, and we're going to bring in a couple WWF guys, WWE guys, and try to promote and make. Last year we had like 1,600, and the school raised about $6,000 for the athletic department, which is nice. We'd like to welcome. I was told that if you guys are willing, we'd like maybe to have you guys come up to one of our live shows and do a live feed where you can sit down and interview wrestlers while they're not in the ring, back and forth, and get their objection and their opinion on what's going on and how they feel about the ASWA and stuff like that.
I think that is something we will definitely do. We just need to dot our I's, cross our T's. I think we'd all be excited to go do that. What do you think, Old School?
Yeah, I think Bucky Ridge isn't that far away.
No, like I said, it took me an hour and 10 minutes to get down here, so it's not that.
As long as someone else is driving, I'm a female driver, I get lost easily.
And Marty just said that he's already got his tickets for the 3rd. He saw the posters in the pizza shop, and he can't wait. So.
Beautiful.
Wow.
But no, we're excited. I mean, we got things going in the right way. We draw anywhere from 900 to 1,100 people, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And we had, like I said, a couple months ago, we had a WWF scout, and he took one of our guys and down to their developmental camp. And his name is Sawyer Fulton. And he's about 6'9", and he's pretty good. He needs a little work on his mic skills, but you know what? That's why they're down there. To get all that exposure and stuff. Okay. And like I said, feel free to go to Chris Hahn, aka Johnny Paradise, aka Bunyan Entertainment page. And it's got all my upcoming events.
And we'll put those links on our website tonight as well for everybody to go to.
But no, I enjoyed coming down, and I appreciate you guys having me, and I'd like to come back sometime.
The pleasure is all here, man. And trust me, I would definitely love to have you back, man.
It's just unfortunate that he's not Andre the Giant size or something close to Paul Bunyan in real life. because then we try and get him to come out
We,
and make it
we all
special.
work in a haunted forest out in Pataskala.
Oh, okay.
And ever since we saw the movie, we're like, we need that character to walk through the
need a
woods.
big-
Have you ever been to Robert Kurtzman's place called Creature Court?
This would be the guy.
He's the guy
It's in Crestline, Ohio. And what he does is he sells the costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's top-notch stuff, so you can pay a little bit of money, but man, he'll make you anything you want. The guy's amazing. Go to Creature Core website and just look at his stuff, and he'll send you a catalog.
Yeah.
And he'll custom make things for you.
We do a lot of our own, make our
Now,
own.
did you go to the Haunters, the Midwest Haunters?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. That's where I met you guys. Duh. Exactly.
That was that's a shiny moment for this belt. You know, I'm just letting you know that.
It's the first time an actual wrestler touched it.
Right.
But House, he had a booth down there, and
Yeah.
some of those guys that are
Yeah.
under his
Well,
tutelage.
I was thinking, at first, when I first saw some of the trailers for the movie, I'm going, oh, well, we could get permission, because we usually project an old movie up there for people staying in line to watch.
Sure.
It's like, we get permission to project that movie up there, and then we get the costume.
And have him in the woods and shoot at people.
Running
All of
around
a
out
sudden, it's a
there.
documentary.
But you know what? I can always ask. The suit smells like hell.
Oh, that means I'm wearing it. God damn it.
But no, it was fun being down here. I appreciate you guys having me. And
Dude,
like I
man,
said,
do me a real quick thing, real quick. Cut a promo for me.
all
Before
right.
we go.
Hey, this is Johnny Paradise, and I am live on WNRradio.com. And if you're not listening, you're a first-class loser, because we're all sitting here at the table, and we're a bunch of handsome studs.
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah, he said stuff.
So I'll see you August 3rd at the ASWA wrestling show. And if you don't like it, come up and say something to me, and I'll put my foot up your ass, because I'm a movie star.
Damn right. He said the water on his knee will quench your thirst. That's what he said, boy. All right, Chris, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
much.
Old school, it's
been great,
big
man.
stud.
And we're going to go ahead and start playing some music, and we're going to get you out of here
All
so
right.
you can get back home. We'll be right back here on WNRradio.com. Stay tuned.